Greetings everyone, my name is Dr. Jason Freeman. I'd like to welcome y'all to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 film Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michael B. Jordan and Hailee Steinfeld. I'm going to say what I like about the film, I'm going to say what I don't like about the film, then I'm going to say whether I think you should see the film or just skip it. Now right off the bat, one thing I loved about this film was that the music was fire.
Oh, somebody take me in your arms.
Now the film centers on a juke joint that's being started by two twin brothers, Elijah and Elias Moore, respectively called Smoke and Stack. And in this juke joint, their cousin Sammy is going to be playing, and Sammy is an amazing blues singer. And so the Mississippi Delta Blues is the main music you're going to hear in this film, but there are other forms which I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to give anything away, but music is throughout the film. In many ways, it's another character in the film. Now this might be a little divisive for certain people. If you don't like the blues, if you don't like these other musical forms that will be presented in the movie, you might not like the movie. But for me, I really enjoyed all the music that was in there, both the Delta Blues and again the others that we hear throughout the film.
For the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming. The wild mountain thyme grows around the river.
The second thing I loved about this film is that it was not afraid to take risk. Now over and over again you hear people complaining about there's too many superhero films, these big budget films that have no soul. Well, this film very much has a soul. Now, third thing I like about this film is that it's very character driven, especially at the very beginning. Now, at the very beginning, we get to know the characters a bit. We get to know the twins, we get to know the cousin, we get to know the various characters that will be important throughout the film. And so I like that. I like the fact that these weren't just like NPCs. These weren't people that are kind of throwaway people. We know who they are. We know about their lives. And we know that the things that will happen in this film will impact people in many different deep ways. There's also a lot more humor in the film than I anticipated. So I know with typical horror films, there is some humor, there is some comedy, but I feel like that Coogler's being very deliberate with his use of comedy, that he wants it to be kind of levity and comedy along with some of the horror, and even mixing the two together at various points.
Yo, smell anything? I think I shot myself.
I hope you're enjoying the video, but I just wanted to quickly mention that if you're enjoying what you're seeing from the DCU or DC Comics in general, why not buy a Funko Pop of your favorite DC character? I have a few myself and will definitely be getting more. To get your own Funko Pop DC character, click on the link in the description. Another thing I like about the film is that it's firmly grounded within Black history. The Mississippi Delta Blues goes all the way back to slavery, where African Americans would sing about the negative experiences they had in the American South. Lynching, sexual assaults, racial violence of all different types. This is what they dealt with on a day-to-day basis, and the film very much talks about it. They mention these type of things, and these things flow right into the pathos of the music. Also, I believe that Ryan Coogler partially built this story on the story of Robert Johnson, or the legend of Robert Johnson, where it's said that he's so good at playing the blues that he must have sold his soul to the devil for that talent. Now, what didn't I like about the film? Well, one thing I didn't like about the film is that while I like the fact that it developed the characters at the very beginning, I felt like it took way too long to get to the action. Now, I wouldn't consider this an action movie by any stretch of the imagination. Now, very much we know that Coogler can do action movies. Again, Black Panther has a lot of action. This film is very much a character study. And so the way it was advertised was, it's vampires, it's violence, it's horror, and that's in there, but towards the end of the film. Much of the film is just character development. And so, honestly, as I was watching the film, I'm like, where's the vampires, where's the vampires, where's the vampires? Oh, we have the vampires. Wow, that was quick. Another thing I didn't like was I felt like at times the film was a bit muddled and a bit confusing. Now, I think I know why they had twins played by Michael B. Jordan, but honestly, at times, I kind of wish it was two different actors playing brothers who might have looked kind of alike, but they were looked enough that you can kind of tell the difference. One of the issues is that you had the brothers going on these divergent paths, and you had to kind of just go by things like the hat they wore, their demeanor, to kind of tell they were different, which Michael B. Jordan did a good job on. But to me, at various times, I just didn't know, was this Elijah, was this Elias, was this Smoke, was this Stack, you know, those respective names. And so there was times I'm like, is this the one with this woman? Is this the one who likes her? Like, really, I have no idea. Now, along those same lines, they have rules about how the vampires operate, what the vampires can do. By the way, the bad guys are vampires. You see that in the trailer. So they have rules about kind of how they operate, what they can and can't do to essentially create stakes and push the plot. But I don't feel like they really commit to the rules. Like, I don't totally understand why certain things happen. So, for example, there was a vampire trapped in the room, and so I wasn't sure if that vampire, how is that vampire allowed to escape the room based on the rule that they had put out there. Alright, should you see this film or just skip it? Now, for this one, I would say that if you're expecting a straight, like, horror film, like blood and gore and just nastiness, this is probably not the film for you. There is a little bit of that with like the vampire attacks and kind of what they do to people, but this isn't really a gore fest. This is more of a story that has gore in it. Also, if you're looking for a survival horror film, there is some of that in here, but very little. And so what I was actually hoping for was more of a long, like, we gotta survive this situation and all this, you know, rules, and there was that in there, but it's so short towards the end of the film that I don't think that if that's what you're in it for, that, you know, this is for you. Also, if you don't want to learn about Black history, if you don't want to learn about kind of race in America, especially the history of racism, this ain't for you. I know there are people who say racism is a thing of the past, racism doesn't really exist, you know, we're overblowing it. That this is not your type of movie. Probably Ryan Coogler is not your type of director, honestly. So if you are, you know, kind of, you know, the idea that, you know, race doesn't matter, we should forget about that stuff, forget about the history, then you might want to skip. You will want to skip this. However, if you like music, if you like risky cinema, you know, people taking risks artistically, if you like vampires, but more of the story and the mythology and that type of stuff, then this is your type of movie. I love the movie. I love the Black history. I love the characters. I love the comedy. All of it worked for me. I would definitely see this movie again. Is it one of my favorite movies of all time? Not really. I wish there was more of the action and a little bit less of some of the character stuff at the beginning, just to move the pace along. But overall, I think this is a good movie, a great experience. It's just not the big blockbuster Ryan Coogler type movies that we might have seen in the past. Now, if you found this video interesting and or informative, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also, please share this video. And if there are other Black movies you want me to review on this channel, please leave those suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you all for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.